There are more than 5,000 brothels disguised as massage businesses nationwide.
Johns pay a fee of $60 to $90 per half hour or hour, plus they occasionally pay tips. The women are pressured to please the customer in order to receive these tips.
These unpredictable tips are the women's sole source of income to pay the numerous fees and interest rates they are charged by the network. Club owners generally consider these women independent contractors and employees of the driving network, not the club.
The women may be required to pay certain fees to the club, DJ, bouncers, taxi drivers, stage manager, and other parties.
Commercial sex sometimes takes place in the bathroom, VIP lounge, or the lap dance room.
In the 2008 study, Deconstructing the Demand for Prostitution, conducted by the Chicago Alliance Against Sexual Exploitation, 46% of the 113 interviewees had bought sex at strip clubs.
49% of the interviewees believed that there were girls under 18 years of age working at the strip club.
Often, no. Victims of sex trafficking often do not seek help immediately due to lack of trust, self-blame, or being directly trained by the traffickers to distrust authorities.
But there are organizations out there in Missouri that will help these women get back on their feet.
One of the main organizations we got our research from is called the Polaris Project. It is one of the leading organizations in the fight against sex trafficking and modern-day slavery.
By successfully pushing for stronger laws, operating the National Human Sex Trafficking Resource Center hotline, conducting trainings, and providing services to victims, the Polaris Project creates long-term solutions that help move our society closer to a world without slavery. To report any suspected trafficking, please call the National Human Trafficking Resource Center hotline at 1-888-373-7888.
The other organization we focused on in our research was the Covering House. They seek to provide a place of refuge and restoration for girls who have experienced sexual trafficking and sexual exploitation.
Although slavery was abolished nearly 150 years ago, it's still alive today. Some say that it's thriving even more than before. By taking a stand against the modern-day slavery of the commercial sex industry and providing refuge for today's young survivors, the Covering House is fighting for the world without slavery.
Addressing the needs of each survivor, the Covering House focuses on providing therapeutic housing and an integrated program that works together and builds on each other within areas of clinical, educational, spiritual, and recreational.
Innovative approaches to providing for survivors not in direct need of long-term therapeutic housing. This program provides clinical care for individuals within the community, as well as providing seamless transitions from their residential housing to communicate with support systems.
I was watching a program on MSNBC about 3.5 years ago, and they were talking about sex trafficking of children in Cambodia. And then they switched the focus and they started talking about sex trafficking in the United States. And I was shocked. I didn't even think that it was possibly existing here.
Trafficking is quickly becoming the #1 crime in the world. It's surpassed the sale of guns, and I believe it's on its way to surpassing the sale of drugs. And the reason for that is when someone sells a gun or drugs, they have to go replenish their supply. When you resell a person, you use that person over and over and over again. It's modern day slavery.
Prostitution just robs you completely of yourself, of who you are, of everything that you thought about yourself. You don't know yourself anymore. I'm still dealing with that. It's a horrible thing.
An average day for a girl that's being trafficked probably involves drugs, doing whatever their captor or pimp or daddy, whatever you want to call them, tells them to do. In the evening, they might be asked to service up to 20 men a day, trying to make money for their pimp so they can have a place to lay their head at night.
Because as law enforcement officers, we can go out there, we can rescue this child, we can put the bad guy in jail, the courts can prosecute the bad guy and put him away in prison. However, we still have a child that needs some sort of support.
The thing is with these girls, if you don't start the day you get them, you're going to lose them because they're just going to go right back and they have no help to help them get out of it.
Well, a lot of times when we place a child, we have to look out of state to place them, whether it be in California or Colorado or just another home that is able to take this person in. There's very few places here in the St. Louis area that provide that service. Our first resort, we're trying to get that child for safety and security.
We're going to also provide counseling services, life skill classes and workshops, and incorporate into the education that we provide for them a lot of the arts, because we've learned that the arts, whether it's performing arts or visual arts, they're very healing for the girls. And so we want to incorporate a lot of that as well. And ultimately, we want to provide a home for these girls.
A lot of girls I know think they can't do anything else. After you're there for so long, you don't think you're capable of being a normal person.
My biggest hope for the girls that are rescued, one, that they would become whole, and that they would feel confident and become confident young women, that they might see themselves not as victims, but as someone who has purpose and who has value and who has something to offer.
We hope you became more aware and learned something new about sex trafficking.
It is our hope that by spreading the word and getting this information out there, that more people will help join the fight to end human sex trafficking and slavery.